A pristine black leather shoe steps out of a yellow taxi and sinks straight into the dry, red dirt of the processing yard. A small cloud of dust rises, settling quietly over the polished toe. Alex freezes. The heavy wooden crate he's carrying suddenly feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Across the yard, Tu Na stops mid-step. She is covered in a fine layer of white cassava flour, her hair tied back loosely, sweat clinging to her neck. She looks at the elegant woman standing by the taxi, and her breath catches. "Hello, friends. Welcome back to our family. If you've ever had a piece of your painful past show up unannounced at your front door, you know exactly how heavy the air can get in an instant." The woman staring in silent horror at our muddy, chaotic yard isn't a lost tourist. She is Alex's mother, and she has come to see the farming fantasy that her son supposedly threw his life away for. Just 10 minutes ago, the farm was caught in its usual beautiful rhythm. The diesel engine of the milling machine was humming, laborers were shouting over the noise, and little Henry was chasing a stray chicken near the bamboo gate. It was loud, it was messy, and it was our home. But the moment that yellow city taxi cut the engine, a suffocating silence fell over the yard. Alex's mother carries the deep, invisible scars of their family's past financial ruin. To her, security looks like a corporate office, a clean suit, and a predictable salary. She doesn't understand this life. She only knows that her son moved to the countryside, married a woman she has never truly known, and is raising her only grandson in the dirt. Alex slowly lowers the crate to the ground. He wipes his rough, calloused hands on his faded work jeans and walks toward her. The physical contrast between them is jarring. His mother stands tall in a perfectly tailored coat, her posture rigid, her eyes scanning the bags of fertilizer, the rusted wheelbarrows, and finally resting coldly on Tu Na. Tu Na instinctively brushes her hands against her apron, but the flour only smears deeper into the fabric. She tries to smile, offering a polite traditional bow of her head. The mother barely nods. No warm greetings, no hugs. Just a quiet, devastating look of disappointment that echoes louder than any shouted words. The afternoon sun beats down on the corrugated metal roof, but the air around the farmhouse feels completely frozen. Alex's mother refuses to sit inside immediately. She insists on seeing the property, walking with careful, hesitant steps to avoid the mud. She drapes her expensive coat over a scarred, rustic wooden chair on the porch, a stark symbol of two entirely different worlds colliding. The hardest part of building a life from nothing is that the middle phase always looks like failure to the outside world. They don't see the foundation, they only see the sweat. Tu Na is caught in an impossible position. The delivery trucks are waiting, and the schedules cannot be delayed. She tries to be a gracious host, but she also has to manage the workers. Alex's mother stands silently by the porch pillar, watching her daughter-in-law haul heavy plastic crates of raw materials alongside the men. Her jaw tightens. In her eyes, this isn't entrepreneurship or female strength. This is desperate, grinding poverty. This is exactly what she feared. Over by the outdoor wood stove, Ba Puong is keeping Henry out of the way. She sits on a low plastic stool, blowing gently on a bowl of warm sweet potato porridge, feeding the boy. Henry is laughing, his little bare feet caked in a fine layer of dry grey mud. He is healthy, happy, and surrounded by love. But as the mother's gaze shifts to her grandson's dirty feet, her expression darkens further. She sees a child being neglected by a mother too busy doing manual labor to put shoes on him. Tu Na feels the weight of that judgment from across the yard. She rushes to the outdoor water pump, scrubbing her hands raw with cold water and rough soap, desperately trying to wash away the grease and flour. She hurries into the kitchen to brew a proper pot of jasmine tea. When she carries the wooden tray out to the porch, holding the chipped porcelain cups, her hands are shaking ever so slightly. She pours the hot tea, the fragrant steam rising between them. She offers the cup with both hands, lowering her eyes in respect. The mother looks at the tea, she looks at Tu Na's reddened, working hands, and then she simply looks away, leaving the cup untouched on the table. The silent tension is suffocating, and the real break is about to happen. Evening falls over the valley, but the heavy rhythm of the farm does not slow down for guests. Before they can even think about sitting down to dinner, the final delivery of raw agricultural harvest must be sorted, washed, and meticulously prepped for tomorrow's milling. For 2 solid hours, we watch Alex and Tu Na work side by side in the fading blue light. They move with an unspoken, deeply practiced efficiency. Tu Na hauls the heavy soil-caked baskets to the outdoor washing station. Her arms strain under the weight, her knuckles white, as she plunges her raw hands into the icy well water to scrub the roots clean. Alex operates the loud mechanical peeler beside her. The air smells sharply of wet earth and crushed, sweet starch. The practical reality of processing your own harvest means there are no shortcuts. Every single piece must pass through their tired hands before it can become something valuable. Sitting stiffly on the porch in her pristine coat, his mother watches this relentless, brutal physical labor. To her, this isn't building a business. It looks like a life of endless, punishing servitude. By the time they finally sit down for dinner at the low wooden table in the kitchen, exhaustion has settled deep into Tu Na's bones. The small kitchen is warm, smelling of steamed white rice and savory braised pork. For a fleeting moment, there is a fragile peace. The soft, familiar clinking of chopsticks against porcelain bowls is the only sound in the room. And then the quiet snaps. Henry, sitting closely beside Ba Fuong, kicks his legs happily under the table. His little toes are still bruised and caked with dry mud from a long, joyful day of playing in the fields. The mother's chopsticks pause mid-air. She stares at the boy's feet, her expression tightening into a sharp, painful line. "It absolutely breaks my heart," she says, her voice low and tight, directed at Alex, but meant entirely for Tu Na. A child running wild in the dirt, no shoes, no proper supervision. I suppose when a mother is out lifting heavy crates like a common day laborer, the child simply has to raise himself. The clinking of bowls stops instantly. Tu Na goes entirely still. She doesn't argue. She doesn't defend herself. Instead, she physically shrinks, her tired shoulders rounding forward as her eyes drop to the scarred wooden table. All the grueling exhaustion of the day suddenly looks like pure defeat. Beside Henry, Ba Fuong's posture turns to steel. The warm village elder bristles, her dark eyes flashing with fierce protectiveness. She opens her mouth, preparing to unleash a defense that will undoubtedly shatter this family permanently. Before Ba Fuong can speak a single word, Alex stands up. He knows this is the breaking point. If he forces Tu Na to apologize just to keep the peace, he betrays his hard-working wife. If he tells his mother to leave, he permanently severs his family. The hardest part of blending 2 completely different worlds is that you cannot argue a person out of their deep-seated fears. You have to show them what the sacrifice is actually for. Alex doesn't raise his voice. He walks around the table, gently places a rough hand on his mother's shoulder, and speaks softly. "Mom, leave your bowl, come with me." She looks up, genuinely surprised by the quiet, heavy authority in his voice. Hesitantly, she stands. Alex takes her hand and leads her away from the suffocating, tense heat of the kitchen out into the cool, dark night. They walk in complete silence across the uneven dirt of the yard. The only sound is the crunch of their footsteps and the distant, rhythmic hum of crickets. The darkness outside feels immense compared to the small, bright kitchen they just left. He guides her past the quiet milling machines, past the towering stacks of empty plastic crates, and stops directly in front of the large corrugated steel doors of the main storage warehouse. It is pitch black inside. "You look at this dirt, and you see my failure," Alex says quietly, sliding the heavy metal door open. The rusted hinges groan loudly in the night air. He reaches to the wall and throws the main electrical breaker. Clack, clack, clack. Row by row, the massive industrial overhead lights flicker and buzz to life, flooding the cavernous space with a brilliant, blinding white light. The mother steps inside, and her breath catches audibly in her throat. This isn't a muddy, chaotic farm anymore. It is a highly organized, thriving processing facility. Towering, perfectly stacked pallets of premium, refined goods rise high toward the ceiling, meticulously wrapped and ready for export. The practical, undeniable result of all that brutal, dirty labor is standing right in front of her. It is a massive wall of success. But Alex isn't finished. The true lesson of their life isn't just about the physical product. It's about what that product provides for the people they love. He walks her over to a large, organized wooden desk in the corner. Alex guides his mother to the large, organized wooden desk in the corner of the warehouse. He doesn't show her bank statements or profit projections. Instead, he opens a thick, worn leather binder. Inside are the daily shipping manifests, all meticulously recorded in Tu Na's neat handwriting. But more importantly, beneath the heavy ledgers, he pulls out a thick stack of photographs. They are pictures of local village children, standing proudly in crisp, clean school uniforms. "This is what the dirt pays for," Alex says gently in the quiet cavern of the warehouse. "Every single month, the profits from this farm fund the school fees for 12 kids in this valley. We don't have a pristine corporate office, Mom, but we have a community that relies on us to survive." His mother stares at the photos, her rigid posture finally beginning to soften. Her manicured hands tremble slightly as she touches the edge of a photograph showing a smiling young girl holding a new backpack. "Tu Na didn't just save me when I lost everything," Alex continues, his voice thick with a quiet, undeniable pride. "She built a kingdom out of this dirt. Henry runs barefoot out here because this entire earth belongs to him. We aren't failing, Mom. We are building our empire." A soft rustle at the warehouse door makes them both turn. Tu Na stands there in the glowing white light. She has finally washed the heavy flour from her face, though her work clothes are still faded and stained. In her tired arms, she holds a deeply sleeping Henry, his little chest rising and falling in a perfect, peaceful rhythm. The mother looks at Tu Na. The fear and harsh judgment are completely gone, replaced by a profound, overwhelming wave of respect. She walks slowly across the concrete floor, stopping right in front of her daughter-in-law. Without a word, the elegant city woman reaches out. She gently pulls a stubborn, dry fleck of mud from Tu Na's dark hair. Then, with tears finally spilling over her eyelashes, she pulls Tu Na into a tight, desperate hug. In the quiet warmth of the warehouse, two entirely different worlds finally become one family. The next morning, the heavy tension that had suffocated our simple wooden house has completely vanished. The early sunlight filters softly through the green bamboo leaves, casting warm, golden shadows across the front porch. The pristine black leather city shoes sit entirely abandoned by the front door. Out in the yard, sitting on a low plastic stool right next to Ba Puong, is Alex's mother. She is completely barefoot. Her toes rest comfortably against the cool, dry earth. She is holding a small knife, clumsily but happily helping Tu Na peel a massive basket of freshly harvested cassava. When Henry runs past, chasing the same stray chicken, he trips and tumbles softly into the dirt. Instead of gasping in horror, his grandmother simply laughs. A rich, beautiful sound that echoes across the valley. The truth about blending a family is that you cannot force someone to understand your lifestyle through arguments. True family isn't about perfectly matching backgrounds or sharing the exact same definition of success. It is about finding the people who love you enough to take off their armor, sit down in the dirt beside you, and help you build your life. We don't know how long she will stay with us this time, or if she will ever truly miss the quiet safety of the city. But looking at 3 generations of women laughing on our porch, one thing is beautifully clear. Dirt will always wash away in the river, but the foundation of a family lasts forever.